Keating is looking down at King 6 offsuit.
Straddle with you to my left because I know all it means is a re-straddle. If I put on the 32, you'd put on the 64. I'm just screwed no matter what.
Of course.
So weird. Oh, that's funny. I thought there was a chase symbol in your pocket.
It is.
No, but it's not your pocket.
Uh-oh, here he goes.
And here comes Mickey. Ace Jack offsuit.
12,000.
12 to go.
JRB here,
Israel.
going the speed
Let me know
limit.
if I'm playing too many hands, guys.
The flop falls a texture that connects with every player in a different way. JRB, sensing the check as weakness and wanting to protect his small pair, fires a bet of 15,000. Keating, having flopped middle pair with his 6, makes a sticky call. He realizes that in this specific lineup, middle pair is often the best hand against wide ranges. The turn brings the king, a card that shifts the hierarchy of the hand. For Mickey, it is a scare card that now makes him lose to ace-king, but it is also a perfect card to represent. He decides to seize the initiative, leading out for 35,000. This donk lead is designed to look like he was trapping with a monster or has hit the king himself. JRB, correctly realizing his pocket fives are now worthless, tosses them into the muck. However, for Alan Keating, the king is a total dream. He has just improved to 2 pair. He is currently crushing Mickey's ace-jack. Keating stays disciplined and just calls, refusing to raise and scare Mickey away. He wants to keep Mickey's aggressive story alive for one more street. The river is the 7.
Pretty sure I'm calling, but hold on.
45,000. 2 pair.
45? Okay.
And there's the call.
Golly.
Keating is looking down at ace-king offsuit. Pre-flop explodes into one of the largest pots in televised history, fueled by a spectacular collision of premium ranges and high-stakes ego. Alan Keating initiates the action with a massive open to 60,000 holding ace-king offsuit.
All of it? Stanley's all in.
And Stanley Tang. Poor timing as Keating has a real one here.
250, 255, 500. 255, 500.
I guess as played, we're putting in a quarter of our stack. I could see all in being an option. I could see call being an option. Stanley certainly would like a fold, allows Thomas Berry to get a sweat. Keating certainly contemplating his options here. I think he's split between call and shove. Chooses the call. And now Santos
255
has the same decision as Keating did. And now Santos back rips. Snap.
All in and a call.
No.
All right, it's a 3-way all in.
All right.
2.
Yeah, 2 times is okay.
2 times?
Ace king, ace king, ace queen.
Oh, wow.
Stanley Tang on the ropes.
Look at the green ones.
And it would be real nasty if one of these boys between Keating and Santos 4 flushes one another. That would be dirty. All right, clubs are live for Santos. And now only a queen. There are some chop outs. No.
Glad that didn't come on the turn.
Looks like they're running on another board. Some chop opportunities once again.
Well, then.
Well, Keating now. Hearts live.
You got it, Magic. You got this, brother. I believe in you.
And the pressure's put on that man. No, but that does chop the second board for Stanley. Gonna have to do some accounting here, Magic.
So he gets half a step.
Yeah.
So half the step, you guys chop.
You guys choke, no?
But he gets half it.
Keating's looking down on ace-queen offsuit. Peter comes along with ace-7 suited, a hand that plays fine multi-way but is easily dominated by Keating's calling range. Stanley takes the button with Jack-10, a classic position hand that realizes equity well against 3 opponents. Keating flats pre-flop with ace-queen from the small blind instead of squeezing. Out of position and deep, that call invites dominated aces and worse queens to continue while avoiding a bloated pot against a raiser who can 4-bet. The flop favors ranges that arrived by calling. Keating's ace-queen makes second pair with the best kicker and holds the key blocker to Broadway. His call versus the c-bet is standard. Raising turns his hand into a bluff catcher against stronger kings and sets while isolating himself versus better. Peter's call with ace-7 is thin but defensible. He has bottom pair, an overcard, and backdoor hearts, and he wants to keep his range uncapped for later streets. Stanley's call with Jack-10 is mandatory. He has the best improvement potential with the open-ender and position. The turn ace changes the incentive structure completely. Keating now holds aces and queens, and, out of position in a multi-way pot, checking is superior. Betting announces strength, repels worse, and makes it easy for a better ace like ace-king to play perfectly against him. By checking, he allows weaker aces and floats to fire or showdown worse. Peter quietly improves to 2-pair, and he should notice how clean his value targets are, aces that didn't connect with the king or queen, plus stubborn kings that hate folding. But checking has logic too. He controls the pot and traffic and preserves bluffs for the river. Stanley's check is the costly one. With Jack-10, he owns the nuts on a paired board that still grants him clear value from top pairs and combo draws. Letting it check through surrenders value and protection, and it exposes him to exactly what happens next. The board pairs again, and his straight gets stone dead. The river double pairs the ace and reorders the hierarchy. Keating upgrades to aces full of queens, Peter lands on aces full of 7s, and Stanley is drawing thin to chatter.
And this is going to get very nasty for Peter. Maybe Stanley also, but especially Peter.
Checks from Keating and the original raiser are invitations. Peter accepts with a big bet that targets trip aces and missed draws and tries to dodge raises from the few better full houses. Stanley correctly folds once the ace pairs again, straights or dust. Keating's river decision should lean exploitative here. Against Peter, who routinely overplays strong 1-pair and boat combos, a value raise prince. Keating's hand is under-repped. He blocks the most common equal boat with the queen. Peter's turn check makes ace-king less likely, and Texas Mike is capped after check-check.
Did he just call? He just called.
Keating is looking down on King-10 offsuit. Cho opens to $800. From Keating's seat, King-10 offsuit in position is a fine candidate to test initiative, so he clicks it up to $2,900. That size pressures her weaker opens, defines ranges, and sets the tone that he'll steer. Cho calls, which Keating most likely files as sticky and curious, not the fast fold he gets from air, nor the fast 4-bet he expects from premiums. Cho checks. Keating clocks it as standard on a paired ace texture. Out-of-position players rarely lead here without a plan. Keating checks back. With range disadvantage on the paired ace board, c-betting prints only versus folds and inflates pots against the parts of her range that won't. Cho checks again. 2 checks from her narrow things, far fewer nutty ace traps now, more medium pairs, and a bunch of club draws that didn't want to bet into his perceived ace density. Keating checks again. He could stab for protection, but the board still screams, my ace, my pot for the preflop caller. He prefers to keep her air and marginal pairs intact and let the river card choose the script. Cho leads $5,500 from Keating's chair. That river is wild. It completes Broadway and the backdoor clubs. He now has the straight and, critically, the king of clubs blocker. Versus a line that checked twice, he upgrades to a value raise, making it $22,000 to target 1 pair queens and jacks and to punish delayed bluffs, while also representing the nut structures he can hold. Cho responds with a 3-bet to $65,200. That sizing flips the polarity to the top. Flushes are plentiful with 3 clubs on board, and full houses loom large on a double ace texture, pocket 7s, jacks and queens, and every ace-x that's slow played. Even with the king of clubs reducing her nut flush combos. The remaining flushes plus boats far outweigh the bluff she arrives with after 2 street checks and a river bet back.
Another bluff?
Oh, there's that too. Arden's now got a rep. Maybe it'll get her paid.
Wow.
Looks like he's folding.
Good fold, good fold, good fold.
Peter kicks things off with ace-5 offsuit. He has just called a raise of $35,000 from Keating, who holds king-jack suited. Let's dive in straight into the flop and see how Peter ended up so upset.
These two sitting on effective stacks of $2 million.
First to action is Keating, who looks like is going to open with a bet of $40,000. For me, he is just testing the conviction of Peter's hand and hoping the turn will give him a straight draw. I think Peter is putting Keating on a semi-bluff and confidently snap calls, thinking Keating doesn't have nor a set, nor a flush draw. The turn delivers a 10 of hearts, a card that brings Keating a step closer to making Peter's night a bit worse than it was. And with that bet of $150,000, Keating is making a statement that he isn't about to slow play this hand. He is either making Peter fold or bloating the pot for that fairy tale straight he is hoping for.
And decision time for Peter. And this man has made every right decision this week.
Peter took his sweet time deciding what to do, because nothing from the strong range Keating is portraying so far doesn't seem strong enough to beat him. But the straight or flush draw is always lurking behind the river.
And he calls. Pot, 462,000. Keating blasting into Peter. And Keating rivers the nuts. Finally a pot where Peter does not have the best hand at showdown.
With Keating betting almost $600,000 and the straight appearing on the river, Peter now has a tough decision to make. Make sure to let me know in the comments, what would you do if you were in his place?
He calls. Keating. Cameraman don't care. Cameraman does not. Oh, Peter's taking a walk.
Keating is looking down at pocket 10s. Pre-flop begins with Brandon making a loose open to 4,000 from early position holding 10-8. It is a splashy play, but with stacks this deep, implied odds often trump range charts. The action folds to Keating in the hijack with pocket 10s. This is a pivotal moment. A standard textbook approach would be to 3-bet to isolate the weak opener and thin the field. However, Keating is playing a different game. He elects to just flat call, a deceptive move that disguises the strength of his hand and effectively invites the rest of the table to come along. The flop lands, a deceptively dangerous board that acts as a massive cooler funnel. It is the absolute dream scenario for Keating, who flops a full house, 10s full of jacks. However, for Steve and Martin, it is a mirage.
Ellen signature, I love it. Everybody plays their signature, so nobody plays Giaro. I can feel that now.
They both flop trips, but with terrible kickers. The action starts with a microscopic lead of 1,000 from Steve. This tiny bet effectively freezes the field, inducing calls from Martin and Brandon. When it gets to Keating, he raises to 25,000. He knows he has the board crushed and wants to start building a pot immediately.
That was interesting tank fold. I was really enjoying that. I was really enjoying that tank
Well,
fold.
wait a second. You're about to
I
get
didn't
another
know
one.
some plays tank fold sometimes.
How much is it?
Sometimes.
I was thinking you play
I like to
snap
take
folds or tank calls.
I like to tank
or
my
tank
time.
raises.
I tank fold all the time.
But tank folds, I really don't know what if it is your shtick.
All right, Steve calls.
Steve, you bet 1,000 and now you bet 25?
No, I didn't bet 25.
Sorry,
I called 25.
I should probably go all in now, but I will think about it.
Good luck. Martin, do you got my
I'm
purple
not happy
pills?
about that. Steve, super not happy about that. I just love this. I just love this.
Steve, refusing to believe his trips are no good, makes the call. Then the madness truly begins. Martin, sitting on bottom kicker trips, decides this is his moment and puts in a 3-bet to 69,000. It is a massive overplay in a multi-way pot, but he is convinced his jack is best. Keating smooth calls, setting the trap. This flat call is lethal. It convinces Steve that Keating might just have a draw or a 10.
If you call now, Steve, you are my new hero, I'm telling you. Alan was my hero, he will always be, but if you call...
Steve's all in.
Just kidding.
Is it all in or not? How much is it about?
More than you.
It's almost 800K.
He shoves all in for a staggering 784,000. He effectively turns his mediocre trips into a bluff catcher against the nuts.
I put 69, yeah? He called and he goes a little bit over top, yeah?
Steve and Martin played their hands as if they were holding the absolute nuts, failing to realize that in a 5-way limped pot, trip jacks with a 9 kicker is barely a bluff catcher. Keating simply had to wait for the aggressive players to donate their money to him and his boat, turning a standard set mining spot into one of the largest pots in televised poker history.
I love it. Alan, you definitely not play. This is not Giaro approved, this tank. I'm telling you. Huh?
I think I'd be both
Beat? Okay, just put the money then.
All right, I call.
Can we play showdowns, guys? Just for spectators?
Twice.
Can we play showdowns?
2.1 million in the middle.
We show
Alan
the cards.
Keating, a
No,
2-1 favorite
You don't want to do that?
against the field.
But I would like to enjoy myself.
No, you're good. You're good.
What can you guys all have? King, queen of spades, somebody, right?
No.
So can we show the hands?
Yeah.
You okay?
I'm not showing my hand.
Oh my God.
That's a good call. But I probably win.
Gonna run it twice.
1 or 2 boards. What? Two, twice.
I have Little, Casino, Royal.
Lovely. Come on, ace.
Ace or 9 for
That helped
Steve.
you guys.
Ace or 6 for Martin.
Any card.
Any
helps.
card in the turn is gonna
Literally
improve me.
anything.
Anything in the turn is going to improve me.
Ah, there's
Instead
my
it's a 3, and Keating wins the first run out.
Greedy.
Needs to dodge.
Mr. Minois.
Keating
That
scoops.
is quite a few McLarens.